mankind hesitated to eradicate the creatures that stand in the path of his conquest. If we find ritual extirpation, undesirable ladies of another world, the rest must be destroyed. Is it possible that our dark
Greetings, ladies, gentlemen, government agents, child laborers who are the real heroes of the holidays, and anybody who might be listening. This is Close Encounters of the Podcast Kind. I'm your host, Tasker, and we have the very festive, but still wearing all black, Nick.
Feliz Navidad. Dun, 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 dun. Feliz Navidad. Dun, 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 dun. Feliz Navidad. Prospero año en felicidad.
Is that to make me feel more at home on the podcast today?
A lot of today is going to make you feel more at home, buddy. Look, you are Mexican.
Yes.
Right? I'm sorry. And if we just need to talk about the fact that, yes, Christmas is coming up. By the time everybody's listening to this episode, it's 2 days away. It's coming up real quick.
Yeah.
So we will be talking about Jesus, but I will be referring to him as Jesus to make you feel more at home. All right.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling the holiday spirit of being inclusive to everybody, as unintended as it may be. But hey, you know what? Sure, I'll take the holiday cheer.
Hey, I'm not a big Christmas guy. I'll be the first to admit it, and I'm sure a lot of people out there assume that as much. I'm not a big Christmas guy, but I do ironically like to sing Christmas songs, and I will be doing that throughout the episode. And you're not going to know when it's coming. It's not in the outline.
No. Well, I just remember there was that one year where, because I've noticed that whenever Christmas does come around, and this is true, that Nick does love his Christmas jingles, and you tend to lean on one that you like. It's almost like it becomes like a, what's that thing called? Tourette's kind of like tick, where you'll just start like singing. What was it? That one year it was very, very like present in our day to day was Mamacita, Santa Claus. Like every fucking like 20 minutes it would come up again.
Yo, you guys need to listen to that song. Just look it up on YouTube. I don't know what it's called. I don't speak Mexican, but it's on YouTube somewhere. And just look up Mamacita. Donde esté Santa Claus? You know I should be sleeping.
Yeah,
I didn't write that. Your uncle wrote that. So
yeah. It just became a sort of what's that syndrome when you get like kidnapped and you start to like fall in love with your Stockholm. Yeah, it's like I just learned to love the song because I just heard it so much. I gave up, and my defense mechanism was like, it's not that bad.
It's in your genes. It's in your genes to like that song.
Every time I hear a full mariachi band, I'm kind of like, this isn't so bad. I'm like, that might be a genetic disposition for all I know.
It might be.
It's fun. It's it's a party people thing. It's cool. But anyways, before we kind of get a little bit too off track here, just wanted to quickly point out this episode is 1 year. We have been doing this podcast for a year. This was so I think we started posting in January, but our first actual recording for the show was the week before Christmas.
Yeah. And we did it. We did it, man. We made it 1 year of continually uploading episodes for the people. And we are happy to have made friends with some of you. We're happy to have listeners that enjoy listening to our voices, not to get too sappy, right? But we do need to point it out that we wouldn't be doing it if it weren't for you guys. So
yeah, it's been a crazy 4 seasons journey. I think we only missed like 1 week because shit was extra fucked up. But like, yeah, it's been a great process. Oh, so I guess if we did miss a week, technically our first real recording was the week before Christmas. But whatever, we'll round up. And yeah, it's just kind of funny that it's like, it's our 1 year anniversary right by Christmas. So it's going to be completely overshadowed by Christmas. Just like how, like, if people like when their birthday is on Christmas and you think that means double presents, but that's not how the real world works,
Exactly. So unfortunately, our child, which is our podcast, only gets one set of presents this year.
Yep. Or we could do the thing that some people do where they celebrate their birthday just some in like random point in summer, just so it's like, they don't feel like ripped off. But that's like something a good parent would do.
Yeah, we're not. Come on, guys. If there's one thing you know about both of us, we're not parent material, right? We aren't. We aren't meant to look after another living thing. So
it frightens me to think of either. Just imagine like if me and you were like living together with that one like infant. Like, how wrong do you think that's gonna go?
It would be horrible. It would be fucking absolutely terrible. Like, I'm not saying I'd kill the thing or anything, but we definitely wouldn't be raising it the way we're supposed to.
No, see, we wouldn't kill it. It would just grow up to inevitably kill us because it's going to be a serial killer from all how fucked up it's going to be.
Yeah, because I used it as an ottoman for 8 years.
Oh man, just good stuff in our future. But let us move to horoscopes, and this will be probably. We have one more week before the end of the year, right? So yeah, we got this horoscope, and next horoscope will be our 2021 year hopeful future thing.
Yeah, right, man. Yeah, right. It's just gonna get worse next year, and I know it.
Yeah, we'll see when we see it. But for now, what's in the stars for you?
Things may seem a little cloudy today, Cancer, but this is no reason to be blue. I'll have a blue Christmas without you.
Is that a pro cop stance I hear?
Dude, don't you fucking tread on me. It could be that you need to adjust before you can smoothly relate to others. Take this opportunity to attend to things that you normally wouldn't think of. See things from the perspective of someone in another walk of life. Realize the fun of just staying home and falling asleep on the couch. Wow, this is all over the place. It's not working for me. It's telling me first off to see how other people live and be sympathetic towards that. I don't have time for that shit. I'm hardly making it as for me. I'm barely hanging on by a fucking thread here.
I was gonna say it's kind of like rubbing elbows with voyeurism too.
Yeah, what am I gonna just watch my neighbors and be like, I wonder how they live? And next thing you know, I'm raiding their panty drawers.
Or that day where it's like you got the telescope. That's sorry. What is it called? What's the thing it's not a telescope? It's not a microscope. It's just a
binoculars. Didn't you want to be in the Navy SEALs?
No. Well, yes, for like a minute. If you guys listened previous, there was like it was like 1 or 2 weeks where I was just like, dude, I want to be a Navy SEAL. That sounds fucking dope. And then I realized how ill-equipped I am for that. But
yeah, he's like, you first day on the job, you're like, hey guys, so are these standard issue monocles or they're binoculars?
Oh, and then I think I just get hit in the face and just black out and cry and piss my pants.
Yeah.
So if you're a Navy SEAL, you're fantastic. I'm glad you could do the job. I cannot.
Fight me 1v1. See what happens.
I play Fortnite, so I'll have I'm pretty good at tactics.
I'm a Mercy main in Overwatch. Don't fuck with me, bro.
Unironically, I actually did download and play Fortnite for the first time a couple weeks ago.
What's wrong with you, man? Hold up. No, we need to have a serious conversation really, really, really fast before you get on to your horoscope. And I'm sorry everybody here has to witness our little quarrel, but Tasker has asked me to play Minecraft with him. And now he's telling me that he played fucking Fortnite a couple weeks ago. Dude, what is going on? What's happening? Are you 3?
Okay. First of all, Minecraft, I found it very boring for a very long time. And then I discovered speedruns. And then I discovered it's really fun to watch. And it made the game look fun. And I started to understand it more. With Fortnite is it was free. And, girlfriend was like, hey, have you ever played? And I was like, no. And she's like, you want to? And I'm like, okay. And, it's I got my ass beat really hard because people have been playing this game for years. But it's just so strange to be like doing the thing I've been making fun of for so many years.
And you've stooped to that level. No, nobody to blame but yourself, sir. So
I mean, there's worse things I could be addicted to. I'm not even that addicted to it. I played it for a week, and it's just really frustrating because everybody's really good at it.
All right. You know what? Before your autism rubs off on me, let me go on with my stars here. All right. My sex is a 3 out of 5, average.
Mm-hmm.
Hustle's a 3 out of 5, pretty average. My vibe, though, I'm vibing, right? I got a 4 out of 5.
Cool.
And my success is 2 out of 5. Not looking too good there.
Oh yeah. End of year, the end of what's it? What are business cycles called? Quarter. End of the quarter.
End of the quarter, home stretch.
Yep.
So I'm not expecting great things. I just expect to get through the next couple weeks. So
it's all you can do. And actually, the low success makes sense because, dude, fucking Christmas is like such ass when you're an adult. Like, it's just, oh, okay, that's right. I just have to lose I have to pay double rent this year because of all the presents I have to buy.
Yeah, which is, you know what, in the spirit of things, yeah, you're supposed to be happy to give people gifts. I'd be happy if it was free, all right? Because I just moved. I got fucking bills up the wazoo, and I'm buying presents. It's like, look, what am I Santa? I have to supply everything?
A true American tragedy. Too bad our government is so terrible that everything is so mismanaged that we're all at this point. Well, they make trillions of dollars, which, by the way, we all got scammed. Just saying.
We did. Megacorps, they're coming. Cyberpunk is the future, and it's now.
Yep. Exactly.
All right. What does your horoscope tell you to do today?
Okay. Listen to what other people say to you today, Scorpio. They are valuable experiences waiting around the corner. The important thing to do now is recognize opportunities when they arise. The road to success isn't always well marked. Take a chance on the road with no signs at all. You have the courage and pioneering spirit to pursue the adventurous route, so go for it. Well, and I don't want to like talk too much because like I'm definitely like on heavy like non-disclosure agreements and shit, but I did get a real job, like doing art. Like I did get hired.
Hold on. I don't want to take away from your moment here, but you use the word real job and art in the same sentence.
Yeah, man. I'm working now, like a real like big boy, not part-time job doing artwork.
And they said it couldn't be done, huh? They told you, everybody told you, hey, that was a bad move. Art school, huh? What are you, Hitler? But no.
Even I told myself that. But what's to stop everyone from thinking I just made up the job? Actually, I gave up a long time ago, and it's just a regular corporate job, and I'm just lying to everyone and saying it's an art job.
I mean, I'm just saying I haven't seen you at work yet, so you could be lying. I don't know.
Well, we'll have to see. But yeah, like I said, I can't really give details about it because I don't want to lose it. But it's very cool. It's very exciting, and things are looking up for me. And I hope I can reflect that in the show and show you guys a good time. Non-sexually, hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully. But I mean, come on. You know the boys out there are looking at you like, you're a milkshake on a yard.
Well, maybe. But anyways, star ratings, 4 out of 5 on sex, 3 out of 5 on hustle, 4 out of 5 on vibe, and 2 out of 5 on success. Again, it's Christmas. Everybody's kind of taking a hit. Except for rich people.
Fucking rich people and those megacorps. Oh,
yeah. I think they said general wealth for the already mega wealthy has gone up 30% since COVID started.
Not a coincidence. Let's just put it that way. There's no way it's a coincidence. So look, whether you guys believe it's happening or not, or whether there's arguments about why it's happening, it's not a coincidence. And the fact that people are becoming more powerful because of COVID, that is a little sketchy. But that's an episode that I want to do in the future once COVID dies down eventually. I think it would be nice to reflect on what happened and what's going on. And I think we should talk about what's really happening with COVID. But until then, like we said, and like you guys can see from the title, we got a Christmas episode here for you guys.
Yep, we got the special, just like Charlie Brown.
It's just like Charlie Brown, but sacrilegious and kind of racist at some point. So it's going to be awesome.
Right. I figure that's probably what you guys expected anyways at this point.
Yeah. Come on. Are you going to tell me that it's Christmas time and I can't go into why Jesus was not an alien? He was. And we're going to talk about that today.
Yeah, this will be... I don't think we've been this sacrilegious since the Satan episode. And even then, I thought we were pretty respectful.
Yeah, not today. Today is just shitting on a bunch of people's beliefs. So,
well, hopefully it doesn't curse us too much. I'm knocking on wood, man.
Okay, guys. Well, this is, like we said, Christmas special, Close Encounters of the Podcast Kind. Welcome back. And really quick, I did want to say sorry for not doing a Hanukkah episode, but we have been flagged enough for Tasker's lovely anti-Semitic jokes as it is. So that's kind of like the last thing we need right now. So we're not doing a Hanukkah special.
Yeah, my bad.
He can't help it, man. He's like a little Himmler, just running around, fucking poking him, poking the bear.
Have you ever seen? I saw this picture one time where it's just like a little like knitted figure of Hitler, and they call it Nittler.
Yes, I actually have seen Nittler before, and he's on my desk.
Keeps you inspired, huh? While you're going through your rough work days.
So, as you saw in the title, was Jesus an alien? Well, you bet your apple bottom jeans he was, and we will be telling you why. So, without further delay, let's get into this. I'm hungover 3 days in a row. It's a record in a while. Let's fucking do this.
Right. What better way to cap it off and hopefully wake yourself up with that adrenaline rush of, oh boy, I wonder if this is going to get us banned today.
It might. This might be the one. If Apple Podcast is run by Mormons, we're fucked.
Yeah, this could go down. So we'll see.
So in order to fully understand the comparisons we will be making today to prove that Jesus Christ was in fact an alien, we will first need to give some background on him. And yes, this will be stuff that is common knowledge, but let's admit it, people. Most of us haven't been to church since the Hindenburg went down. We need a refresher. And I believe that was 1937, so it's been a while. The birth of Jesus, Luke 2, verses 1 through 20. In those days, Caesar Augustus issued a decree that a census should be taken for the entire Roman world. This was the first census that took place while Quirinius, oh boy, was governor of Syria. And everyone went to their own town to register. So Joseph also went up from the town of Nazareth in Galilee to Judea, to Bethlehem, the town of David, because he belonged to the house and line of David. He went there to register with Mary, who was pledged to be married to him and was expecting a child. While they were there, the time came for the baby to be born, and she gave birth to her firstborn, a son. She wrapped him in cloths, and placed him in a manger, because there was no guest room available for them. And there were shepherds living out in the fields nearby, keeping watch over their flocks at night. An angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were terrified, rightfully so. But the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid. I bring you good news that will cause great joy for all the people. Today, in the town of David, a Savior has been born to you. He is the Messiah, the Lord. This will be a sign to you, and will find a baby wrapped in cloths and lying in the manger."
So that right there is our proof that he was human born. So already,
you shut the fuck up. We haven't even gotten into it yet. I haven't even finished the Bible verse yet. You're talking shit.
I'm just saying, it's right there.
Yeah, proof in the Bible. You fucking lick my nuts. All right. Suddenly, a great company of the heavenly host appeared with the angel, praising God and saying, "Glory to the God in the highest heaven, and on earth peace to those on whom his favor rests." When the angels had left them and gone into heaven, the shepherds said to one another, "Let's go to Bethlehem and see this thing about that has happened, like which the Lord has told us about." So they hurried off and found Mary and Joseph and the baby who was lying in the manger. When they had seen him, they spread the word concerning what had been told about the child. And all who heard it were amazed at what the shepherds said to them. But Mary treasured up all these things and pondered them in her heart. The shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all the things they had heard and seen, which were just as they had been told. There you go.
And he didn't prepare like psalms and stuff to sing in between?
No, I'm not really. I'm not the religious type.
I was gonna say that just flashed me right back to church, man. And like, yeah, you ever get like so much of a flashback, you go like right back to your old mentality where it's like suddenly I have this like random urge to just like doodle and just like think about other things.
Because it's boring. It's boring as fuck. But it's important. Boring. It's important that I read that. All right. And that was the story of how Jesus was born, allegedly.
Allegedly. Right.
And I put it in there both because we will be referencing it later when we begin talking about extraterrestrial comparisons, and because, look, as satanic as we all are here, Tasker,
yeah,
it just gets you in the Christmas spirit for some reason, hearing some verses like that, you know, talking about the manger and how Mary got knocked up by an alien or God. You know, it's awesome.
I'm glad that we're setting a mood because, you know, it's our first Christmas special.
It is. It has to be legit.
Right.
Pastor Nick is here. Pastor Nick is ready, dude. He's here to send you guys to heaven. I'll do it by myself.
Do you have you become, as you are right now, somehow like stumble your way into like pastorship would be the funniest goddamn thing ever, because to see you tried your best to not like to treat your sermons like the podcast.
Yikes. Talking about how, like, you know, let's just stick with the New Testament and forget all the Jew stuff in the Old Testament. How about that, people?
And you know what's weird and sad is that you actually might end up being very successful, because guess what? If you posted up that kind of talk in the Midwest, you could probably get some real backing, and maybe you could be the next mega church.
I could be the next mega church. I could make a lot of money being anti-Semitic.
Yep. Unfortunately, that's you know, a lot of higher up people do. I'm just saying.
It's true. It's very true.
It's fucked up. But anyways.
So after his miraculous birth, as Tasker pointed out earlier, Jesus grew up to become a man of many talents.
And of course, I got to point out, I mean, I know this is probably common knowledge, but Jesus was born without conception. So Mary did not have sex. And
we're going to get into that. And we're going to get into why that's important.
Yeah. So that's kind of like a huge, like a big, if somebody didn't know it, now you know.
Now you know. And he was the Son of God, right?
That's some believe it. I know. I think Judaism, they don't believe him to be the Son of God.
No, they don't. They believe in Jesus, but they don't believe that he was a Messiah. They don't believe he was the Son of God. They just think he was some dirty Arab.
Wow. I love the theory though of like that. Some might argue that Jesus himself was not holy at all, but was just a really fucking cool guy who is just like,
way ahead of his time, dude. Just groovy.
Yeah.
He was just having a groovy time, banging Mary Magdalene on the side. Nobody knew about that, but it was happening.
Yeah, I mean, I know we're in sort of like that like sacrilege territory, but it's like, you know, human's gonna human, man. I wouldn't put it past that being like partially true of like Jesus being like just a super cool, chill guy who's my big thing about it is I think especially why Christianity rose to popularity before it became, you know, a big corrupt power grab, was the whole idea of, at this time, this is like humanity's like first level of society after, you know, graduating from the wilderness essentially. And the thing is, hey, you slept with my woman, I'm going to kill you. Hey, you stole my dirt, I'm going to kill you. Hey, you made fun of me, I'm going to kill you. And Jesus kind of came in and was like, hey, guys, what if, you know, we just kind of had an agreement with all each other that even though this person pissed you off, what if we didn't kill him? What if, like, instead we tried to figure it out and, like, I don't know, maybe emphasize a little more on forgiveness than trying to murder everybody, because people were getting murdered over everything back then.
He's a witch.
And unfortunately, and how ironic that the whole witch hunt was a product of, you know, heavy, intense Christianity.
Yes. Oh, how the tables have turned, haven't they? Look, they've taken the word of no matter what Jesus was or who he was, they took the word of Jesus and they spun it. And now we're seeing the results. We've seen the results for like 400 years. So it's pretty awful.
Yeah. There's a lot of good in it. Like, I think it's a good, like, the Bible's a good, like, baseline of morality, but like, yeah, also like I said, mega churches, some of the most horrible, corrupt people got to their positions of power by just twisting religion because they know people will believe it.
Hell yeah. Not a bad idea. So, like we were saying, though, Jesus was allegedly the Son of God, or there was something special about him, okay? And he had many powers and abilities that seem awfully suspicious, in my humble opinion.
That's one way to put it.
He even raised the dead, and he came back from the dead himself.
Right.
So now that we have a slight refresher on who Jesus Christ was and how he was born, let's get into his birth and abilities, nitpicking each point as we go along to prove that he was not the Son of God, but an extraterrestrial Merry fucking Christmas.
Oh boy, I am very excited to see how you're going to try to convince me that this is anyway true.
Hold on, dude. Before we even fucking get into this, you're telling me that it's harder to believe he was an alien than the Son of God.
Well, like I said before, I think he was probably just a regular dude. Like, I don't know. To me, I believe that more than the alien theory, that he was just, I believe there's a higher chance of even being a regular. That's okay. That's my tier ranking. So one is regular dude who just killed it and was just crazy cool and amazing. And also, this is ancient text. The Bible's been around for thousands of years. So who's to say? I don't know. It's hard to say. And I'm probably going to get us banned from that. And two, Son of God. Also, that could be true too.
You're telling me that your number 2 is the Son of God.
Fuck yeah.
Jesus
Yeah. Alien is a hard number 3. I think that I believe in God sooner than I believe in aliens.
That is the most closed-minded bullshit I have ever heard. Then I will convince you.
All right. Yeah. Let's see you put some work in.
So let's begin with the birth of Jesus, which we referenced earlier using the first and only Bible verse you will ever hear me fucking read.
Mm-hmm.
That was a lie. I will be saying more verses in this episode, but that's it. After this episode, you'll never hear Nick utter another one again. So enjoy it while it lasts.
Yeah, unless you end up on your deathbed and you like how everyone does convert to Christianity last minute.
I'm not doing it.
No,
I'm not throwing out like that.
I mean, as depressing as it would be hilarious to just see you just battered, bruised, your liver's been cut out, and you're just arguing with the priest. You're like, not gonna do it, man.
Not gonna do it. Get your witchery out of here. I don't want anything to do with space Jesus. You leave me alone.
Give me my cleansing stones.
Yes, give me my amethysts. And that being said, here is Luke chapter 1, verses 26 through 38. The birth of Jesus foretold. In the 6th month of Elizabeth's pregnancy, God sent the angel Gabriel to Nazareth, a town in Galilee, to a virgin pledged to be married to a man named Joseph, a descendant of David. The virgin's name was Mary. The angel went to her and said, "Greetings, you who are highly favored. The Lord is with you." Mary was greatly troubled at his words. Oh, it was a dude? Let me redo that last one then. And greetings, eh? Yo, you who are highly favored, the Lord is with you. All right. Mary was greatly troubled at his words and wondered what kind of greeting this might be. But the angel said to her, "Do not be afraid, Mary. You have found favor with God," right? "You will conceive and give birth to a son, and you are to call him Jesus." I mean, Jesus, right? You call him Jesus.
Reading it verbatim.
He will be great and will be called the Son of the Most High. You know what I mean? Though he smokes the weed, he's the Most High.
Oh, God.
And the Lord God will give him the throne of his father David, and he will reign over Jacob's descendants forever. His kingdom will never end. Well, how will this be? Mary asked the angel, "since I am a virgin." The angel answered, "Hey, look, don't worry about that. The Holy Spirit will come on you, and the power of the Most High will overshadow you. So the Holy One, right, to be born will be called the Son of God," right? It makes sense. Even Elizabeth, your relative, is going to have a child in her old age, and she who was said to be unable to conceive in her 6th month, for no word from God will ever fail. I am the Lord's servant, Mary answered. May your word to me be fulfilled. Then the angel left her.
That sounds like high school, like a Brooklyn high school reproduction of the nativity scene.
That's kind of what I was going for, so I'm glad it landed.
You think Mary, like, you know, obviously, like if we're going into, like, you know, Christian Catholic lore, like obviously there's eternal life after death as long as you, like, you know, are faithful to your faith. So do you think it ever bums Mary out that she's just like constantly referred to as like a virgin all the time?
Yeah, it's like when people call me a virgin.
Hurt your feelings.
Yeah, like call me a virgin scrub, and I'm like, yeah, well, so is Mary. So why are you yelling at me?
To insult me is to insult Mary herself. So you better watch it, punk.
You're gonna burn in hell, buddy.
Catholic bullying.
Wow. Man. Oh, buddy. Okay. Now let's break this down. But before I begin, Tasker, do you have any comments or concerns about the birth of Jesus?
Not really. I mean, and maybe the reason why this is more easy for me to, like, you know, to not be all like dowdy about it is because I grew up with this tale. Like, you know, it was every Christmas. That was the thing. We always had the nativity scene up, and I was, you know, borderline indoctrinated to believe all this stuff. So, you know, it's just there's a familiarity to it.
Even the part where he's like, God is going to come on you.
Is that really what it says?
It said God will come on you.
Well, obviously, language was and translation kind of
better than saying in, I guess. But
yeah, it's true. It's true. I mean, I think that is just an unfortunate result of years of translation. But pretty funny though.
It is pretty funny that Virgin Mary got a facial.
But and ironically, that will not get you pregnant.
Hey, look, your mom's not going to listen to this episode, is she? Because
I really fucking hope not, dude.
Yeah, I hope not either, man.
I think she stopped. I think she stopped listening after like episode 1. So I think we're okay.
Okay, that's good. All right, awesome. Okay, so let's get into it. First, we need to talk about the angel in this verse. In fact, we should talk about angels in general for a minute. Now, we will be doing an episode on angels in general in the future, but let's just do a quick rundown, right? Yes. Anyone with a working brain cell can see that an angel is clearly a servant of a higher power. Most lead us to believe that this higher power in question is God. But I, Nick, have the balls to say that we are what we are all thinking, and admit that the higher power they are serving is obviously a hyper-intelligent extraterrestrial species or being.
Of course.
So Mary was told by an angel that she would become pregnant with the quote-unquote son of God, despite the fact that she's never gotten her dick wet.
Got her dick wet?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fine.
I mean, I guess I could have used a different term. I don't know if she had a dick or not.
Yeah, we don't know, but it's sorry. I thought that was an error, but then I realized that the joke there, and it just went over my head because I'm retarded.
That's all right, man. I love explaining my jokes. It makes them funnier. So
that's rule number 1 in any comedy textbook.
Yes. Do you know what this sounds like to me, Tasker? This whole virgin birth, angel coming down. You know what I mean? Do you know what this all sounds like to me?
Like a beautiful Christmas story to unite families for generations to come.
Yeah, generations to come on the small of my back, dude. Nope, that's not it at all. Artificial insemination.
Okay.
This is a practice that aliens are quite fond of, as we have touched on before. Why did she not remember any of this, right? If she's being artificially inseminated by an extraterrestrial species? And the answer to that question is it's actually quite simple, because aliens can either wipe your memory or replace them with fake memories. It's basic shit at this point. This is stuff we all know.
Well, how are the aliens so knowledgeable to be able to pitch an idea like, oh, this is going to be your Messiah and your son of God and this and that? Like, that's some pretty in-depth knowledge there. Like, how in the hell did they manage to pull that off? and speak English. Well, not English. I mean, wherever they were.
Wherever they were. I was like probably some dirt language. Listen.
That's not nice, but
it
okay.
Was. Okay, so you yourself said it best in the beginning of this episode when you were talking about how Jesus came along and told people, hey, maybe we shouldn't be killing each other over little things or at all, right? Mm-hmm. Maybe we should be trying to progress as a society.
Fuck yeah.
Oh
my God, I see where this is going.
You shut the hell up. So basically what's happening is this extraterrestrial species is trying to progress society by implanting a quote unquote Messiah into our in creating some like basic system of religion.
Religion already existed though,
but like a more unified one. I mean, look what it turned into, right? Not for better, right? Because humans corrupted it. Of course, we stopped getting guidance from these extraterrestrials, but the start of it was sincere, and the start of it had good intentions, and I think it was meant to stay that way. It didn't, unfortunately, but that's so. To answer your question, that's why the Messiah and that's why this whole Jesus and Son of God thing came into play, is because they were trying to basically do war from the outside with somebody that they created as a human alien hybrid as their Messiah.
Wasn't because I was just thinking about all this stuff with now that we're going to the history of Christianity, because originally Christians were persecuted. Like you would just be murdered in the street for being Christian because, you know, it wasn't accepted. But wasn't when was it Constantine who was like the first conqueror who was a Christian, and that's when like people had to actually start paying attention.
Yeah, he had a vision in a battle once of Jesus, or it was either the cross or Jesus, and from that point onward, he converted to Christianity, and that's when it was first taken seriously by others.
Because you were able to legally practice it because he fucking conquered the land. So you know what? He gets to make the choice.
Yeah. So to answer your question, that's why the whole Messiah thing comes about, the Son of God, right?
Yeah.
Now, that was too easy for me to explain. It was too easy. Like, who the fuck wrote this book, right? It's too easy.
Okay.
But let's get to a point after the actual birth of Jesus, right after. Like, I'm talking seconds after. Do you remember the three magi, the three wise men?
Yes.
Okay, it's good because you were raised Catholic. You better remember them.
Yeah, obviously they come with the presents, you know, like just like with the vine. It's like, I brought you incense. Oh, thank you. I brought you blah, blah. Yes, thank you. And I brought you myrrh. Murder. Oh, Judas.
Oh, dude, that was one of the Whitest Kids You Know guys, too.
Oh, was it? Oh, shit.
Yeah, I fucking love those guys.
Oh, yeah, they're hilarious.
Well, I got bad news for you about the three magi, dude. They were aliens.
Jesus.
And I'm going to be getting into that.
Was that their disguised constituents?
Yeah, actually, yes, they were agents, essentially.
Oh, my God.
So first off, I'm going to begin this by reading Matthew chapter 2, verse 11. One verse, don't worry. On coming to the house, they saw the child with his mother, Mary, and they bowed down and worshipped him. Then they opened their treasures and presented him with gifts of gold, frankincense, and myrrh. That's just a little refresher as to what the wise men brought to Jesus as like a baby shower gift.
Frankincense. That's the one I forgot.
But I wanted to point something out with this verse here, something that's not in the outline because I just thought of it and I'm smart. Gold is not just important to humans because of its value. Alien species knows the importance of gold because of its conductivity with electricity. That's very, very good and resourceful. They brought gold to Jesus, which will come into play later when I start talking about technology that Jesus had, because it's high in conductivity and it's a soft metal that can be molded to different shapes for different purposes. But we'll get into that later.
So they just gave him a baby's first laser gun Build-A-Bear, essentially?
Gold. They gave him gold that he can use for other stuff, Tasker. He's like MacGyver, okay? He's a hybrid. He knows this stuff.
Sure.
So how do we know for sure? Well, we don't know for sure, actually, and that's the truth. But there is some pretty damning evidence that they were aliens. And this is where I will read Matthew chapter 2, verses 1 through 9. The Magi visit the Messiah. After Jesus was born in Bethlehem in Judea, during the time of King Herod Magi from the east came to Jerusalem and asked, "Where is the one who has been born King of the Jews? We saw this star when we rose and have come to worship him." Yes. When King Herod heard this, he was disturbed, and all Jerusalem with him. When he had called together all the people's chief priests and teachers of the law, he asked them where the Messiah was born. "In Bethlehem, bro, in Judea," they replied, "for this is what the prophet was written. But you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are by no means least among the rulers of Judah, for out of you will come a ruler who will shepherd my people, Israel." Then Herod called the Magi secretly and found out from them the exact time the star had appeared. He sent them to Bethlehem and said, "Go and search carefully for the child. As soon as you find him, report to me, so that I too may go and worship him and bring back falafel." After
Oh my God.
After they had heard the king, they went on their way, and the star they had seen when it rose went ahead of them until it stopped over the place where the child was. Now, first off, I'm going to say yikes. That's a big yikes, right? These guys were astrologers to a king, clearly in tune with the stars and perhaps in tune with things that come from the stars, because maybe they actually came from the stars themselves.
Mm-hmm. So you think they got to all their positions of like in the king's court and all that stuff, like they've been planning this for years? Is that what you're saying?
Actually, yes.
Ugh. And do they even have like disguises as good as that? Like, is that a thing? They could make themselves look undiscernibly identical to humans?
Well, we're going to get into that. We're going to get in later into what species this was and how they were not basically outed, because there are a lot of alien species out there that look pretty human.
All right.
But second, we need to talk about the star that they follow to find the birth of Jesus, right? The Star of Bethlehem.
Oh no.
You shut up. You shut up. You know where this is going and you know it's true.
Isn't that's just like the North Star, right?
Allegedly.
It's still there. I'm pretty sure.
No, it's not the North Star. That's what I'm getting at. From the verse that I read, you can hear that the star itself was moving and it stopped above where the child, aka Space Wizard, was born. And with this being said, this was not a star, clearly. This was a spacecraft, and it was guiding these three wise men to the birthplace of perhaps one of the most powerful alien hybrids to walk the face of the earth. And furthermore, these wise men, or should I say wise aliens, were sent to witness the birth to make sure everything turned out okay. They were essentially spies or agents for whichever alien species created Jesus,
and to equip them with whatever he might need to begin his true purpose. Huh?
The gold is important in this story because of its I said it's very conductive soft metal that you can use, and that's very important to a lot of alien species out there. See, other alien species find value in it for its practical uses, not for its earthly monetary bullshit fake stuff.
Oh my God. Well, what about the myrrh and frankincense? Like,
that was a cover.
Oh, just wow. Well, that's quite a spin to the original story.
It's true. I've done the research on this. It's 100% true.
Oh my God. How great it would be to see a VeggieTales take on that.
Yeah, VeggieTales, shove that cucumber up my urethra.
That sounds painful.
Okay, well, look, I'm glad that we talked about that, and I'm glad we cleared some stuff up. A lot of people think that, the Magi were actually wise men. No, it's not. They were agents, and they were sent to make sure the birth of their alien hybrid overlord went well. Now, I just wanted to finish this section by reminding everyone that you cannot get pregnant and give birth unless you get either gushed in by Puff the One-Eyed Dragon, or if you are artificially gushed in by a womb broom. There's no other way.
I enjoy, and I'm assuming those are all the technical terms for all of those.
I've been to medical school. I've
Yes.
heard a doctor call it a womb broom before, a penis.
That is eternally fascinating. And but and I mean, I know I'm like obviously on the side of like questionable, but at the same time, it's like it's still the same good message of like, you know, we want to progress society. We still want to. I can't be mad at that. You know, they're doing this for good reasons.
Exactly. You can't be mad at them. It's just a different origin. It's just like what you've been told by the Bible, right? This old crusty book from like 2,000 years ago is fake. But the real stuff, I'm telling you.
Right. Yeah. Because today we're going into the truth. Am I right?
It's absolutely the truth. Absolutely. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the juicy bits.
Did you do that on purpose?
Do what?
Yeah, the emphasis on the Jew part of that.
Well, I mean, look, it wouldn't be an episode about Jesus if I didn't do that, right?
I guess so. Like, yeah, if we're going to go full tilt, we might as well just like make everyone mad, right?
Fuck them. Whatever. It's Christmas time, man. They should be all full of joy and stuff anyway. I can get away with anything right now.
This is fair. This is a complete side note deviation. But have you ever heard of hot buttered rum?
Yes, actually, I have.
Yeah, I just learned about it the other day. And as they say, after you have 3 of them, they call it a hot ruddered bum usually.
Yes, because you're drunk. Yes.
Yeah. Sorry, that's just something that sounds fun to do this holiday season. And if you're listening and you've done that before, let us know in the Discord. That'd be fun.
Woo!
Yes.
So you would think that the last section would have been the juicy bit, but there was no sex, right? Despite a baby being born, allegedly. So it wasn't that juicy, right? Because it was just like fake artificial insemination. Nobody was getting pounded. Nobody was getting like their hair pulled and choked and getting cream pied. None of that happened.
This isn't Belle Delphine's OnlyFans.
Yeah, fucking gross. All right.
A little distracted.
No. All right. Anyway, we are going to be going into the abilities of Jesus to point out how each one only makes sense if he was an alien.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so we're going to the powers now.
Oh, yeah. This is the meat. This is the meat of the episode. This is the proof right here. This is the evidence. The birth, yeah, that was suspicious.
Right.
But this is it right here, baby. So, yeah, I've been calling them abilities as if Jesus was like a Marvel superhero. But he may as well be. They're actually called miracles of Jesus. They're not abilities, but I'm going to call them abilities for the most part. Because they are, okay?
Mm-hmm.
He's like Professor X, dude.
Well, yeah, there was just I'm just scrolling through to make sure I don't like ruin your momentum, but I'm just gonna say it anyways. The last time I was at church was at I had to go to a wedding. It was a Catholic wedding, and if we're talking about miracles, you know, the big obvious one is Jesus turning water into wine. And since it's been a while since I've been to church, and also it's been a while since I've been out of the house, which by the way, all this happened pre-COVID, so you can all like, you know, rest easy. The verse came up with talking about how Jesus turned like the water into wine and stuff like that. And I leaned to my brother. I'm like, that's my favorite part. But apparently I said that like too loud because I have no self-control. And it wasn't an adult. It was a like 16-year-old girl turned around and shot me like the dirtiest fucking look I have ever had from a kid before. It was like, yeah, it was kind of awkward, but it was really fun.
Well, I mean, it's a great part. It's a good party trick. I wish I could do that.
Hell yeah, he's a party animal. And that's, I think, see, I fuck with Jesus. I think he's a cool dude. I love the story. I think it's really interesting. But I also love the whole idea that like he's human, and that like despite being a like, you know, this Messiah meant for greatness, he was, you know, he wasn't infallible. He fucked up. He made mistakes too. And like, just what was it? I guess there was like a story where it's like there's like a garden of Gethsemane or whatever the fuck, where he supposedly saw like every sin ever committed by man and still decided to save us anyways. There's somebody who made a post who's like, so if he truly did see every sin ever committed by man, he at one point saw some guy shooting rope to Waluigi hentai and still decided to save us. Like, man, fucking legend.
Yeah, that's he's basically covering for the furries and the degenerates.
He saw it all, man. All those like Yif fest that you like talk about and like, you know, croon about how horrible. He saw it all, man, in gross detail.
Speaking of furries, yikes with Pyrocynical, huh?
What happened to Pyrocynical?
Oh man, he's in deep shit right now, trying to dig his. So basically, another YouTuber accused of being a pedophile, and it was on a furry Yif Discord server. So Jesus, man, I'm telling you, he saw Pyrocynical have Yif virtual sex with a 15-year-old boy, and was like, "Yeah, he's cool."
Yeah, well, I think I can. I'm still gonna sacrifice my life for this.
Jesus, man.
Wow.
Furries are degenerates.
See, no matter what you believe, we can all admit Jesus, that's a level of cool that none of us will ever achieve, I think.
Yeah, look, I'm not saying I have anything against Jesus. I'm just saying that the origin stories and the story itself differs a little bit from what I think actually happened. Okay.
This is our updated telling of the nativity story.
Yes, this is the Bible V2.
The Bible 2, which is a great album, by the way.
Yeah, it's a fucking good album. Check it out. AJJ.
Very good.
Keep that in. All right.
Sure.
First up, we have one of the most well-known abilities that Jesus had. And that is, of course, the healing and the cures. He's essentially a support player in Overwatch.
Or a main character in Final Fantasy.
Yes. I don't get that. All right. One of his many miracles of curing involved curing the blind, allowing them to see again. And he did this multiple times from the Gospel of Mark all the way to the Gospel of John.
Pretty nice ability, because back then, if you were blind, like, good fucking luck. That was something I always thought about, because I have terrible vision, and that's why I wear glasses or contacts at all times. But if glasses didn't exist, or I had no way of like correcting that, like, I'd be fucked. I couldn't do anything.
Yeah, I mean, if you're blind now, good fucking luck. I mean, we don't have technology to restore eyesight, you know?
Well, they kind of do. It's actually kind of like becoming a thing where it's like they attach it to your head, and it's like you don't really like see things like in perfect color or anything like you don't see things in HD like we do, but it's like you can get like kind of a brief, like you can see like objects as like white blotches or something. So
that's not sight. That's not what I'm talking about. What are you, Daredevil? That doesn't sound cool. That's not like what you want. I'm saying like sonar, because you can't see. You still can't see. You're right. You're a cyborg. You're a cyborg with a shitty like cyberware that doesn't work very well, because we're in the baby stages of cyberware. Okay.
Yeah, you have an app installed under your eyeballs.
Yes. Now, next up, Jesus' ability to cure those with leprosy.
Now that would, if that happened in modern day, he would be headhunted by big pharma like that, and they would just make a kill. He get Martin Shkreli'd on it.
Yeah. Yep. Now, sure, we do have treatment for leprosy now that is fairly effective, but back in the old Jew days, we didn't have any kind of treatment, and we didn't even quite understand what was going on with it. Like, it didn't make any sense to us because we just thought that they were cursed.
Yeah, and that must be especially back then. You know, that's terrifying. Keep in mind, this is pre Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. When that book was written, it was considered to be the scariest thing that people would lose sleep on overnight, like night after night. So now imagine with that mentality, and because isn't leprosy, that's when like your skin just falls off, right? And it's like really contagious.
So basically, I looked into it. Leprosy, it's an infection that infects a lot of different parts of your body, but the main thing it does is it makes it so you can't feel pain. So you'll like lose. Other infections will go unnoticed because of a lack of pain, and your body just starts like falling apart. And but not as which is interesting, because I didn't know this, but it's not as contagious as we once thought. It's actually kind of hard to transmit. Now we understand, but that's like a new development.
And back then they were just like, I don't want to touch that thing.
They were like, fuck that. And they're like, you stay the fuck away from me, buddy.
Jeez. Oh man.
But Jesus had no problem. He had no problem going to this dude and not contracting it himself and curing him of it.
It's pretty sick. That's a chill thing to do.
It's a chill thing to do, but Jesus also told this man to not tell anyone who and how he was, who cured him and how he was cured, which sounds kind of suspicious, like he's trying to hide something.
Right. And yet, obviously the lepers did a terrible job because we all did, we in modern day know that it was him.
Yeah. Oh, he turned right around, and it's in the Bible. He turned right around and started telling everybody. So he fucked up.
But I think also maybe that was like Jesus's like kind of what's that thing that you call when it's like you say something like, oh, don't tell people, but you really do want them to tell. There's
reverse psychology.
Yes, reverse psychology. Like, yeah, I think that was just a smart marketing decision on his part.
What is he? Facebook? Look, man, he wasn't thinking about marketing back then. He's trying to hide something, and we all know that.
Right. He wasn't exactly trying to optimize his search options,
No. But let's move on to another healing ability of Jesus. And this is a big one. Jesus had the ability to cure 2 men who were paralyzed on separate occasions. On both of these occasions, he simply told the men to basically get up and walk, and they did. It's incredible, right? That's an incredible feat from the Son of God.
What if he was just that scary?
I mean, he maybe scared them out of their wheelchair, but I don't know. They probably didn't have wheelchairs. I think I remember correctly, they actually brought these people out on mats. Like they just had them like, never mind. I don't want to laugh.
Either way, it's a very sad situation to be in.
Yes, and we'll get into it though.
Mm-hmm.
Another miracle of healing performed by Jesus was that of the quote-unquote bleeding woman. Now, I know that I made the same face.
Wait, just a period?
There's no specifics as to what kind of bleeding this was, but my dumb male monkey brain assumes it was blood coming out of the vagina, right? A period.
Of course.
And I know what you're all thinking. So what? It is the woman's curse for tempting Adam to eat the fruit, and it's natural, right? Well, no, because she was bleeding for like 12 years straight, and it sounds like a fucking nightmare.
Oh, that's not good.
That's not good. Even if you did eat the fruit, not worth it. She shouldn't be treated like that.
Yeah, that's above and beyond. That sounds terrible.
And that was a joke, ladies. Look, I am not saying that you deserve it because of, because you're like, hey, Adam, that stuff we weren't supposed to eat. Let's just try it. Like, it's like the end of the week and I'm like off my diet. I'm just like, fuck it,
Oh my God.
Let's just have some of that fruit. I'm not saying it's your fault.
I think I saw a post one time where it's like, yeah, the reason I never let my girlfriend decide where to eat is because, dude, fool me once with that fucking apple shit in the Garden of Eden.
Yeah, fool me once, dude. Shame on me. Or shame on you, I guess.
That's terrible. No, I think it's just the product of the fact that we came from nature and nature kind of fucking sucks and did not have our comfort in mind when we became what we became.
Yeah, I know that periods suck. I mean, I don't know from firsthand, but I get it, ladies. But have you ever had a paper cut on your urethra before? Picture that. That's pain.
Dude, okay. I know those jokes are like terrible and like, we're going to lose all of our female followers, but and Jewish followers and Catholic followers and a whole lot today. We're losing a lot of ground, but those jokes are pretty good where it's like, yeah, I'm sure your time of month must be terrible, but like, have you ever been like the last of your squad to be online after they all log on?
Yeah. So, we make jokes because we don't understand, right? We joke about things that scare us.
Yes.
So
precisely.
We honor you for going through what you go through and we're sorry. Okay. We're sorry.
See, we could be nice for Christmas.
Yes, we'll be nice.
Mm-hmm.
And just by touching Jesus's robe, her bleeding was cured.
I bet you back in the day when you thought 12 years is a long fucking time. Just to put it into perspective, that's going to high school 3 times in a row if you're in America, because high school's 4 years. So Imagine going through high school in its entirety and you're bleeding and probably aching constantly throughout it all. And that's only a third of what that whole entire process was. And to just one day have it just stop.
Beautiful, right? Beautiful.
Oh, yeah. I'd fucking do anything for the guy.
Now, there were many other healing miracles performed by Jesus in the Bible, including someone with dropsy, aka fluid retention. It's disgusting. I encourage you guys to look up dropsy, DROPSY. It's gross.
Do we got to do another one of my segments of how long I can last looking at Google images?
Do it. Look it up real quick.
Okay.
And then describe it to the listeners.
Just type in dropsy or dropsy disease.
Yeah.
Okay. Images. All right. Now you got to keep a count.
Okay.
3, 2, 1. Okay. It's just fish. Oh my. Oh, that's fucking gross. Okay, no, I'm out.
5 seconds. Nice.
Oh God, it's like they look like they're made out of waterbed.
Yes, so you're basically it's a water retention disease, and your body puffs up, and you can like poke parts of it, and the poke stays there. It's fucking gross. All right, look it up. The point is, Jesus cured somebody with this disease.
He'll be a living.
What's up?
Sorry. Yeah, he's cured from being a living Tempur-Pedic.
Yeah, it's nasty. It's horrible. He cured a man with a withered hand. I don't know what that means, and a deaf mute man. Right, so he was both deaf and mute. Like he was like 2/3 of the way being there to a regular Helen Keller,
but got saved last minute.
Exactly. So why all of the background? Why tell you guys about all these different healing abilities? Well, I need you to understand one thing. It was not a miracle that helped these people. Tasker, can you take a guess as to what helped these people if it wasn't a miracle?
Nanobots, or what's that thing that we talked about with Bill Clinton? The thing where they drink like children's blood?
Adrenochromes?
Adrenochromes?
You're half right. It was advanced technology that this extraterrestrial species, like many, many others, obviously had and still have. And because of their benevolent nature, their hybrid, aka Jesus, was instructed to help those in need with the technology they possessed. For instance, let's talk about the blind people. Jesus was able to cure them by using nanotechnology injections. It's simple.
So little tiny robots that came in, just snipped a couple things, fired a couple of other things, and made it all work, huh?
Yep. And then they also, as we know with nanotechnology, can be in place of other things. And depending on how advanced the technology is, I'm assuming advanced enough for these alien species, they can also replace parts of the eye with the nanobots themselves and basically represent organic matter.
Which, of course, would take a heavy level of understanding of human, bioengineering of how we work as creatures.
You have to remember, we were created.
Right. My bad.
They know us inside and out. Trust me.
They have the blueprints in their rooms.
They do. And now what about the leper? Well, this one's easy as well. Jesus cured him with positive radiation rays that kills aggressive infections such as leprosy and cancer.
Wow. Sounds pretty easy.
Exactly. It's super easy. Super easy, man.
Oh, jeez. So, riddle me this. If he was doing all this shit now, why did they stop after he was crucified?
We'll get into that.
Okay.
But I will give you a little teaser. He stopped because they understood the path that we were going down.
They gave up.
Well, I mean, see how everybody was receptive. Were they receptive to Jesus for the most part? No, they fucking hated the guy. A lot of people hated the guy. They're like, these people are a bunch of monkeys. They don't appreciate what we're doing for them. Then fine, we'll let them find their own way. But unfortunately, the symbol of Jesus was turned into what we see it as now, or what we saw it being in the 1600s and the 1700s during the witch trials. They used it as a symbol of oppression, which is the complete opposite of what he was originally created to do. But they basically gave up. Yes, you're right. They basically gave up because of the not very warm welcome that Jesus got.
Oh, wow. There was a joke about that where it's like humankind's like finally meet like extraterrestrials, or like we sit down, we have a meeting, and they're like, yeah, there's like this. How was your last visit with like Jesus? He comes and they're like, Jesus, like Jesus Christ, and they're like, yeah, he visits us every single year, and mankind's like, what are you talking about? We were promised he was going to return. We only saw him that one time in like, whatever century. They're like, well, what happened? It's like, oh yeah, every time he comes over, we give him like a party. We go shower him. What did you guys do when he visited you for the first time? That's the joke.
Exactly. So that's why they didn't continue with this whole thing. It's just why would you? Because we had learning to do as a species and as a society, unfortunately, and apparently we didn't like Jesus.
Yeah, it was a very telling situation. But, well, like you said, we'll get more into that when we get there, right?
Yes. Well, actually, that was kind of the gist of it, what I just went into, but I condensed it for you. I answered your question on you're welcome. I'm a benevolent God.
You're doing the best you can to share your wisdom and bring positivity to this world.
Hell yeah. But speaking of the leprosy, like I said earlier, Jesus told this man not to tell anyone what happened. And he was clearly hiding something, including his technology and actual origins. That's the reason I think he told him not to tell anybody, is because there's technology that he can't have out yet. He was supposed to be seen as a son of God, as like a wizard, right?
Right.
So if they see him using like tools, because they knew what tools were, but they didn't know what like nanotech was and shit, they're gonna be like, oh, he's just like got some weird shit that he's using. He's not a wizard, you know?
But this is still, to me, in the same territory of son of God. Like, I feel like neither one is more believable than the other. I feel like they're both kind of like, because obviously he would try to hide it if he was like, or like, if he knew he was the son of God, he knew he had enough of a social know-how to be like, okay, no, don't tell anybody, knowing very well that they were going to tell everybody, because that helps to get the word around, so that way he could, fulfill his benevolent mission.
That's because you're a raised Catholic, man.
It's very possible. There is a bias. If this was like a jury duty thing, I would not be allowed to sit.
Yeah. What about those paralyzed fellas, huh? Now, this one is pretty straightforward, but it's also pretty dope. Jesus implanted cyber tech into their spines with micro injection, and it basically allowed their brain signals to reach the spine like they were supposed to in order to walk. So after this, when Jesus told them to walk, they were able to do it. It's as simple as that. Their brain signals went right to their spine like they usually do when they try to walk. But this time they were going into I don't want to say a chip, but it's like, kind of like an injected chip in their spines that allows them to walk again.
So you said that he just told them to walk. He didn't, he wasn't concealing any. Are you saying he just walks around with a small hidden medical bag in his robes with like syringes and shit?
He has access to all this stuff.
Right. But explicitly it said like he didn't like do that though.
In the Bible?
Yeah, you said he just,
the Bible. Those monkeys wrote that, dude. They didn't know. For all that we know, he could have just like touched them on the back, just like as like a symbol of love or whatever. But he probably injected them with some shit.
Oh my God, just like a Spider-Man, like under the wrist.
Yeah. Yeah, for all we know, because like we can't take the word of people who thought that like the dirt was alive. Like we couldn't trust people who believe that, you know what I mean? Like when it comes to writing this stuff. So we have to fill in the gaps a little bit and assume that they didn't know exactly what was going down.
So this implies that Jesus was also a sleight of hand expert.
Not a sleight of hand expert at all. He just knew that they would never understand. So they would just, he didn't have to sleight of hand anything.
Yeah, he did. Otherwise they would have said like the miracle needle or whatever.
I don't know, man. Look, I'm just filling in the gaps.
Oh my God. So you're chalking it up to historical inaccuracies and the benefit of the doubt.
Hell yeah, because that's all the Bible is. It's historical inaccuracies and the benefit of the doubt.
Rocky foundation at best.
Just like the Bible. All right, let's move on.
All right.
And finally, let's talk about the fact that he cured a deaf mute man. It's implants again. Now, I don't know specifically if it was nanotech, like the blind people, or if it was something similar to hearing aids and some kind of vocal implant, but it was one of the two. And you have to remember that the technology that these alien species possess, it's not a whole operation to get this stuff done anymore. It's not like blatantly obvious what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
It's just simple injections to do simple things, because to them, fixing sight, voice, hearing, paralysis, all this stuff is simple. It's trivial.
Because they are our original principal engineers, and being the engineers, they would also know how to repair their creation.
Well, not only that, but it's just they're so far advanced that this is like nothing to them. They're like, oh, dude, like people come in for this shit and we fix it like as a flu shot every day, thousands of times. It's just so simple. Everything's done with injections.
Yeah. Like I said, I just have a hard time believing that Jesus was just like, toting some teeny injection things and all of this. It's not like they had traditional pockets or he had like a bag anybody made note of.
Why would they make note of a bag? If he had a bag, which he probably did, why would they be like, oh, and also Jesus's satchel?
The dude's a phenomenon, and you'd think they wouldn't be like, oh yeah, but he always, like, whenever he fixes shit, he always reaches into his bag or he reaches into his pocket. Like, that seems like something people would probably. Dude, this is back in the day when people were swindling each other left and right all the time. That's why people hated tax collectors, because they would fuck you over and they would outwit you to get more money out of you or cheat you out of stuff. They would ask for more than you actually owed and pocket it and stuff like that. People were savvy to that kind of stuff. They would have noticed.
You're nitpicking more than I am, and that's saying something. And that is saying something.
It's still, like I said, if your theory holds true, that would imply that Jesus was probably maybe not an expert, but there was a level of sleight of hand going on.
And there might have been.
Oh my God.
We don't know that. We don't look. I'll be the first to admit I could be completely wrong on this episode.
Or, I mean, not to like argue against myself, but essentially you did say they can wipe memory, right?
They can, and they can replace memories too.
So maybe he did have a medical bag he carried with him and they just deleted that part.
Hey, shit, maybe. See, look at you, man, opening up that third eye. It's just kind of starting to wake up. You know what I mean? Just kind of waking up. Good job, man.
It just wouldn't be fair if I didn't bring it up, but I do. It does put a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, I'll put a bad taste in your mouth.
I'm sure you will, but you're far away.
Well, all in all, the technology that this species possessed was obviously far beyond anything we had ever seen at the time. So, of course, when people were being cured by all this stuff, it looked like a magical miracle by the Son of God, when in fact, we know that it wasn't. It was just another day in the life of an alien species.
Just one of the more prolific interventions of our regular human life, huh?
Exactly. And now, speaking of curing and miracles, what about the time that Jesus brought someone back from the dead? And this actually happened on 3 separate occasions. Jesus resurrected people from the dead. First was the daughter of Jairus. Second was the young man from Nain. And third was Lazarus. And Lazarus was actually a homie of Jesus who had been dead for 4 years. And then Jesus was like, I kind of need him again. Boom. Back to life.
Do you think, what if like, cause I mean, I don't know. I've never gotten too big into the story of Lazarus, but like, and Jairus, that's, I haven't heard that yet, but imagine like being like woken from being dead and if they were mad about being brought back.
I would be. Look, I pray every day that I don't wake up. And every time I wake up, I'm pissed.
Open your eyes. Not again.
Shit. Here we go again.
So then imagine you end up, you never wake up one day, you're dead, and it's just, you don't have a care in the world because you no longer have consciousness. And then suddenly you just wake up again. So I guess it would be kind of like, what is it? Kind of like anesthetic, where it's like you're in the void. You just basically don't exist. So basically what it'll feel like is one day you close your eyes, then you open them again, except now you smell like shit and rot and maggot, and everything hurts.
Yeah, and I'm like, what the fuck? Why am I back?
Was I dead? That would probably be the first thing to go to your mind. And then another of like, who the fuck fucked this up?
Are the creditors gone? They stopped calling about my credit card yet? Put me back. Put me back.
I would watch a movie about that. I'm sure there is a movie about that.
Well, Jesus resurrected each of these people. Now, there are only 2 explanations for this. He was either a necromancer, or an alien, and I'm inclined to believe the latter.
I like benevolent necromancer. That's a cool little character.
Don't get me wrong. I consider the option, and I think it's pretty dope. Necromancy, if done correctly, is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And so is necrophilia.
Not exactly, but sure.
Now, I don't know exactly how he did it, but you have to remember something. Death is daunting for us, mortal monkey brain humans on Earth. To us, it's the end-all, be-all. On other planets and other dimensions, death is a mystery that has long been cracked and cured like a disease. It's trivial to them. So this alien species that created Jesus, the hybrid, equipped him with the knowledge and technology to bring people back to life. See, we look at it as a very, very black and white situation, death. But it's not. It's not. We've talked about dimensions. There's a spirit dimension. There's an ethereal dimension. There's all types of dimensions. Death is not black and white. They just found another way to harness the soul, the consciousness, whatever you want to call it, from these dimensions back to the mortal realm. And for them, it was easy to revive. So and like I said, I admit, I don't know how they did it. Was it through technology or was it through a spiritual practice that they have? I'm not sure. But it's clear that they used it.
And this is just, not to encourage this kind of thinking, but you think it might be like a species kind of thing, like their species was just naturally more in tune to it, and that's why they were able to experiment on it, because they just kind of had that natural leg up.
Possibly. It's very possible.
You said Pleiadians are literally made out of light and love and shit, so that would make sense.
Yes, it does make sense, doesn't it, Tusker? Yes. Yes, you're fucking getting it together, aren't you? You just spoiled the whole thing. You already know what's going on here. You've opened your third eye enough to know where this is going. I'm fucking proud of you.
I guess enough citrus in my life, huh?
Yep, you're breaking it down little by little. Good for you, buddy.
Ugh.
But Jesus, if you guys remember Easter, why we celebrate Easter, he was brought back to life himself by the overlords when he was killed on the cross. That's it. So honestly, resurrection in the Bible is so trivial because it's trivial to the species. That's it.
I see. And you saw the meme with it's like Drake and Josh, and except they added them in Roman armor and they're outside of the tomb. They're like, Drake, where's the body of Jesus Christ?
Yeah, exactly. And finally, let's talk more extraterrestrial shenanigans perpetuated by Jesus's apparent ability to control the forces of nature.
So before we get into this, we can go under the assumption that Moses and that whole thing of splitting the ocean and all that, that was aliens, right?
No, that was just never happened. I don't consider anything in the Old Testament true.
That's probably fair. It's pretty outlandish.
Well, first, let's talk about what Tasker brought up earlier: the water turning into the wine. Awesome story,
badass,
sick party trick. But I have no clue how it happened. I'll be the first to admit, I don't know how he did that shit. Perhaps there was a capsule that he used that turns water into wine in the future, and movies that I'm not basing my research off of movies, but I am saying perhaps they have, capsules that you could pop into water and it just turns into shit that you need it to turn into. I don't know. Just throwing ideas out there.
Yeah, well, because like I said before, if we're going under the assumptions that they have a heavy level of engineering, if aliens have a high level of engineering on us, and that they not only understand our internal biological workings, and we're going also under the assumption that they've been watching us, they probably figured out, hey, humans love fermenting grapes and drinking it, and this is chemically, this is how it affects their body and stuff like that. So for all we know, maybe they just had when they were working with Jesus, when he did his nightly reports or whatever.
Yes, exactly. You're getting it. He had to report back to somebody with all this shit.
He's like, hey guys, there's a really big party going on tonight, and I kind of want to be prepared for it. So hey, is there anything you could do? Any way you can pull some strings so I could bring a shit ton of wine? They're like, we don't know how the fuck to make wine, but here's something that can recalibrate the chemical composure of water to give it kind of the idea of wine. And he's like, cool.
There, you just answered the question. You just answered the question. Now, we are speculating, unlike the other stuff in this episode, which is pretty cut and dry. We are speculating on this one.
Yes.
Now, what about the time that he fed the multitude? So this is when he took the couple of loaves of bread and a couple of fishies, and then he fed thousands with it. What about that time? I have 2 words for you, Tasker.
What?
Cloning technology. Jesus was able to replicate anything he wanted because his species had the technology to do so. He took a minimal amount of food and fed thousands with it right in front of their eyes, all thanks to advanced technology.
All I could think about is that one news anchor who like butchered the if you teach a man to it's like if you feed a man a fish, he eats for a day. But if you teach a man to feed, and he just like gives up like on live news.
Yeah, I remember that. And you're full of references today, dude. You're on it.
Yeah, it's like I feel like I can't remember words, but I can just remember like videos and small images. So
I have bad news for you.
What?
You're probably autistic.
Well, that's why I don't know if we brought this up on the podcast before, but it's like we both have a fear of ever taking an IQ test because we're worried it'll end up being like 80.
Yeah, or less, because I always make fun of, but I always say like retard. I always say all these mean things, but maybe I'm just hiding, maybe I'm hiding behind it because I'm afraid that I am.
Yeah, maybe so. And it rubs off on me. Like I dropped an R word earlier, and do I feel great about it? No, but that's just sort of the climate we've created.
Yay, we create climate.
Jeez. I hope you're proud of yourself.
I'm very proud of myself. Thank you.
Yay. So cloning machines. That's sort of that's our how the fuck did he clone shit without any sort of box or whatever?
Because you're Tasker. That's such a oh my god, Tasker. You are thinking like somebody who just watched Dexter's Laboratory, okay? You have to remember that the aliens that we're talking about right now have advanced technology enough to where everything doesn't have to be a box. Everything doesn't have to be a big show. It's small, it's compact, it gets the job done quick, and it does it efficiently. He could have done it without anybody seeing with maybe a little device. Who knows? But remember, nothing is always in a box when their technology they're using is like 5,000 years ahead of ours.
Back to the sleight of hand thing, which also the argument is that, well, then he just erased their memories whenever like he Men in Black them. It's just like, sure. We'll go with that.
Yet you still believe that a virgin was impregnated by God and was squirted out the Son of God, and then he's actually curing people with magical space wizard powers.
Versus the idea of that we were literally built from the atom up into what we are today, and that we're constantly being monitored and constantly like a lab rat.
Then how do you explain the state of things right now?
Yeah, why didn't they fucking help us more? Like, what the fuck?
I told you why, because we didn't take their help and we thought we were too big for our britches. So we just started doing our own shit, sucking dicks and kicking dicks and punching dicks and doing all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean?
I understand what you mean.
We've talked about this. We've gone over this both on and off air. We were given up on. And now we're just experimented on because we're like, I wonder how that they fucked up. Now we're just experimenting on us to see how badly it's gone.
Sure. I don't know. I think it's a lot more nature and a lot more like, I don't know, trickery or benefit of doubt stuff, but it's hard to say. This shit happened thousands of years ago.
Yeah, so like I said, guys, I'm just bringing you guys what happened for real. Tasker can talk about all of his Catholic school stuff all he wants. Didn't happen. Sorry to tell you, he was an alien. All this stuff is due to technology. And now let's move on to a very important part here. What about the time that he walked on water?
Right.
Everybody always talks about that, right?
That's a huge one.
It sounds like a really, really impressive miracle. But I hate to let everybody down. I'm going to do it again. It's obvious that him walking on water was thanks to an inherent ability that a lot of ascended alien species have, which we've talked about before. And that, of course, is being a being of light, making him essentially weightless when need be.
So he could just turn it off and on at will, huh?
Hell yeah.
So, and he could just do that in tandem with his human flesh disguise.
Okay. Look, you're thinking like a third dimension monkey. You gotta think about the other dimensions. You gotta think about how light works, right?
That's like saying, let's like in Dragon Ball Z, Goku's always the strongest. Well, what about the? It's like, well, he's Goku, so he's the main character.
I don't understand that reference. I'm not gonna understand that reference. I apologize.
It's main character armor. That's what you're giving him.
You're also giving him main character armor, but on the opposite side of that argument here, saying that he's just a really cool space wizard. I'm telling you the truth, the biological truth, the truth that actually has some ground in science. And you're telling me that I'm wrong?
I just think it's a little out there. I think it's a sort of this guy really was a true jack of all trades in order to pull off what he pulled off and not be figured out.
Yeah, because he's a human alien hybrid. He's meant to look like a human. Okay, let me explain something here. He was half human, half alien, right? This gives him the unique ability to switch his light being on and off because, yes, he was born of flesh, but he still has the light within him. Not all aliens can do this.
So this is he's just that unique, huh? Just a special little boy.
Yes, that's why they called him the Messiah. That's why he's created the fucking Christianity. That's why there's hundreds of people getting killed and beaten by their husbands and all this kinds of good stuff happening because of Christianity. Awesome stuff, right? Great. Good job. Good job, everybody, for doing what you do because he was a special boy. So even they see him as a special boy. Why can't I? For the right reasons.
Oh boy. This is quite the argument. And I don't know. It's hard to say who's right.
Okay. By the way, we can use this information to speculate as to what type of extraterrestrial he was, which we will talk about later, but Tasker alluded to it because he's getting better at this.
Mm-hmm.
And lastly, what?
Sorry, I'm being silly.
No, you could be silly. What? Do you want to talk more shit? Go ahead, talk more shit. Yeah. Talk more shit real quick and see what happens.
I'll hold off. I'll hold off because I just got to see how all this pans out and what sort of other nonsense you're going to be spewing into my ear holes.
Well, lastly, what about when Jesus calmed the storm on the Sea of Galilee? The storm was brutal and was sure to capsize their boat, but he was able to calm the storm and the calm seas returned. And this can be easily explained away by weather control technology that his species possessed.
Okay.
And this weather control technology, just an FYI, is the same technology we are currently working on in the HARP transmitter. Granted, ours is primitive in comparison, but try to take a guess as to where we got the idea from in the beginning. Dude, it's all coming together.
How would they figure it out? You said they gave up on us.
Yes, they gave up on us initially, and they still kind of did. But you have to. Okay, do you remember the Eisenhower Treaty, the pact?
Yes.
We remember all that technology that we got in from the extraterrestrials in order to allow them to experiment on humans.
Right.
Guess what came with that package? Not just Wi-Fi, not just aircraft technology. Of course, they gave us information on something related to HARP, something that helps control the weather.
So they just changed their mind. They're like, you know what? Actually,
No, they didn't change their mind. They're not doing it. This is first off a different species.
Right.
Second, this is a species that gave us technology because we traded with them to get something that they wanted. It wasn't like a, hey, let me help you out. It was like a, okay, if you scratch our back, we'll scratch yours. Yeah, that's the kind of shady deal that went down with Eisenhower.
Mm-hmm.
So there was nothing benevolent about it.
But it was just coincidence, the fact that this separate alien species later on that wanted something out of us just also happened to have the same technology that Jesus used to calm the storm.
Dude, this is basic shit for them. Controlling weather is like taking candy from a baby to almost every advanced civilization out in the universe.
Okay, fine.
Especially technology, especially with an atmosphere as like rudimentary as Earth's, like they can control it very easily, and they have the technology to do so.
So regardless of the alien species, to most of them, that kind of shit is just child's play and should be considered a norm.
Yeah, technically, we got fucked on that deal because they gave us technology they consider ancient. They're like, hey, oh, you're gonna give us some of your humans to experiment on? Here's this really cool technology that we just invented. They're like, fucking suckers, dude. We don't even use that anymore.
It's like showing a caveman the hammer, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
All right, people, we have laid out evidence before you as to why Jesus was an alien hybrid and how. But the question is begging to be answered. What kind of hybrid was he? Let's look at the facts. First off, he emanated light, especially after coming back from the dead, as he's portrayed a lot in paintings, right?
Mm-hmm.
Second, he was a being made of light, like we talked about with the walking on water situation, and clearly from a dimension of love and light, both because of his physical light form and because of the benevolent manner. And speaking of benevolence, everything they did was with love, man. Everything that he did was for the goodwill of humanity. He helped the sick and the lame. And I use the term lame very liberally because it's kind of lame, right?
Yeah.
And I'll give him that much. He was a cool dude. He did cool stuff for people in bad spots, right?
Right.
Now, Tasker, you already alluded to this. You know where this is going. Where's it going? Which extraterrestrial species artificially jizzed inside of Mary?
You're coming to my house to tell me that Jesus Christ was a botched first attempt at Pleiadians to figure our shit out for us.
Yes. He was a Pleiadian human hybrid. Tasker, you have cracked the code.
Oh my fucking God. And obviously it didn't go well. And also too, when Jesus was resurrected, like, was they just like sent, because so that implies Jesus actually was for sure killed. And then they had to send their fucking like Pleiadian cleanup squad, like shaking their heads and shit.
They're like, Jesus Christ. And it was like unironically, because that was his name, Jesus Christ. They were pissed, as you could imagine, because they sent this dude to be born from a human. So their first ever human Pleiadian hybrid to help enrich the world and society and guide us towards a path of love and light.
Mm-hmm.
And we killed him.
We killed him pretty hard and humiliatingly too.
Yeah, you remember the spear to the ribs? That was just like a double tap. Like, we didn't have to do that. You know what I mean? But we did it anyway because we're a bunch of fucking animals who barely have opposable thumbs when it comes to this grand scheme of things. It's ridiculous. So that's why they gave up on us especially after he was resurrected. They're like, okay, we'll bring you back to life, but let's cool it on this shit because they do not deserve this. And we don't. We still don't deserve this shit.
Yeah. Well, I think back in our Pleiadian episode, like you were saying, they're waiting for us to be ready to be able to join the Galactic Federation, because it seems like although they gave up on us with the Jesus thing, they do hold hope that maybe someday we'll reach a point where we can be a little bit more reach-outable. But this is their way of reaching a finger in. We bit it, and they're like, fuck, okay, fine. Well, when you're ready to be like, you know, get your snackies, we'll give you your snackies.
That's actually a really good way to put it. You're understanding it. You're getting it. I love it. I love it. It's making me, this is the best Christmas gift you could give me is saying these things. I'm very proud of you. And you're 100% right. They're waiting, like we've talked about, like you said, they're waiting for us to be on a level to where we could be not a bunch of assholes, because if we join the Galactic Federation right now, we'll be a bunch of assholes.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
What do you think it's going to be like the day that humankind finally fits the bill? Like, how do you think that's going to go down?
Like, how do I think society is going to be, or how do I think we're going to interact with the Federation?
A little bit of both.
In my eyes, what I see as a society ready for the Galactic Federation is a society who loves each other, lifts each other up, doesn't go to war over dumb shit, doesn't really go to war at all. Maybe we could actually like talk our problems out like, you know, adults. When I don't see rioting in the streets, when I don't see gas prices going above $5 and all kinds of shit that's going on in our world right now, when I see America having healthcare to people who need it without having to literally pay with an arm and a leg.
Right.
It's ridiculous. That's the society I see.
So sorry, not to like cut in, but here's an interesting theory. Just because now you got my sci-fi brain thinking. What if with the COVID vaccine coming out, everyone thinks, oh, they're going to microchip us. Oh, they're going to blah, blah, blah. So what if they realize, okay, the best way to join the Galactic Federation is, we got to cut down on our violent tendencies. That seems to be the thing that's fucking us over left and right, is no matter how hard we try, humans are violent naturally. And, when we feel like we get fucked over, we get mad and violent. So what if the COVID vaccine is injected with a violence neutralizing DNA readjuster? And that's the way, because how can you, even if you do find a cure for violent tendencies, there's no way you can force everybody to take it. But if it's backpacked on a massively produced vaccination, maybe this is our first step towards Pleiadianship.
See, that's the funny thing. I'm glad you brought that up. That's the thing about this vaccine, guys. I don't know. I'm not an anti-vaxxer whatsoever. I've gotten my vaccines. I get my tetanus shot. I do all that bullshit. Okay. But when it comes to a vaccine that has been basically speed run into existence, like they were streaming it on Twitch, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, it's ready. It's good to go. And you're like, you're sure? They're like, yeah. Just fucking do it. Yeah. For a disease which I've never seen affect anyone that I know personally. It's a little suspicious, but that's just me questioning corporations and the government. That's just me, okay? But if Tasker is correct, which is a very interesting take, then I might take it. See, that's the problem, is I don't know for sure, though, and I won't know until I take it.
That's fair. Yeah, it's like I'm in the same boat where it's like I do think it's great that we like figured something out, but like that quick, like you said, it's like we speed ran it, like we kind of rushed it, and there's a sort of like, and now and I see also too, they're like all having like world leaders like take it first because they need the positive PR. And I mean, I've had like people I know that work in like the medical profession, and they're posting pictures of them getting the vaccine and stuff like that. So, and also another thing too is the vaccine is not a cure. It is a vaccine like we did for the flu. You could still get the flu and it's still going to fucking suck when you catch it. But the vaccine, basically all it does is make sure it doesn't kill you, which is, good because, right now ICUs at full capacity where I'm at, and like they're having to refrigerate dead bodies in trucks because we're running out of space. I even heard that there's funeral areas where your funeral can only last 30 minutes because they just need to just crank them out.
Yep.
So an odd time and an odd, like, who knows? It's hard to say.
But with all this conflict, right? All these differing opinions, all this stuff going on, perhaps ulterior motives from the government and big corporations, we're not ready for the Galactic Federation. There's no way that they're ever going to let us in right now. So answer your first question about society. You know what I'm picturing. I'm picturing a utopia. Unfortunately, we are slowly descending into a dystopia.
Right. Cyberpunk.
I told you guys it's coming. I looked up YouTube videos about advanced prosthetics. We're almost there.
I mean, if you had to pick one that has a higher probability, you want to go for the one that gives you super robot strength, right?
Yeah. Do you guys want to live in a hippy dippy bullshit world where everything's dandy and everybody's smoking weed, or do you want to live in a world where you have robot arms? You tell me which one. I want robot arms.
Oh, yeah. So the big conclusion with a lot of this, I think, is if we're going to go under the assumption that you might be right about this, we fucked up.
Yeah. Look, whether I'm right or wrong, we fucked up. We killed it's either one of the two. We killed a special Pleiadian hybrid sent here to help us guide into a better future, or we killed the Son of God. There is no winning, depending on which one is right.
Yeah, we're a piece of shit at the end of the day, no matter what you believe in. Even if we go under he was just a really cool guy. Well, guess what? We fucking murdered him.
You killed a really good guy. Look, so there's 3 ways to go about this. We fucked up. Me personally, I think that he was an alien. I think he was a Palladian human hybrid. All the evidence stacks up. The numbers check out. The math adds up, and I'm sticking with it.
Whatever floats your goat, man. Whatever gets you through these holiday seasons. And I'm very excited to hear the story about how you rant about this, probably over Zoom, to all your friends and family during, like, Christmas Zoom meeting or whatever. I was going to say a holiday dinner, but that's not a thing this year.
Nope. I mean, I'm doing a holiday dinner. We are doing a Zoom thing with my whole family, and I will be talking about this. I will tell them that and they are all very Christian. So this is going to be a contentious conversation.
I can see it starting like, hey, is that a nativity scene in the background I see there? You guys want to hear something interesting about that?
The three wise men? Yeah. Okay.
You do know about the conductive properties of gold, right?
Hey, it's a very valuable. Okay. Like I said before, I'll say it again. Other species see it as a very valuable practical use metal, but they don't sell it like we do just to make more money.
Yeah. Well, that was whack. That was whack to learn about.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright.
Oh, that's not I tried to harmonize and I fucked that up royally, but it was fun.
It was fun. See, Merry Christmas, bah humbug. Yes, Jesus was an alien. You can rest assured everything is under control now. Nick did the research. Nick knows what's happening, and he's here to tell you about it.
Right. Yep, exactly. I hope it fills you all with confidence. But also, too, another thing I wanted to point out, especially, you remember that Bible story where I think it was King Solomon, where they have like two women fighting over a baby, and it's like, he's like, oh, you should just cut it in half.
Yeah.
And then, and of course, then the real mom freaked out, whereas the other mom was like, okay, cool. And it's a little hazy, but some argue that baby was Count Chocula's birth in his mortal form. And that he managed, we almost cut the tree at the root, but he skidded by.
Damn it, dude. Why did they just look? It was a barbaric time. None of them would have gone to jail for it. They should have just done it. They should have cut him in half.
Mm-hmm. Would have saved us a whole lot. And that one act of mercy, although it's a great parable and a great story, it led us to where we're at right now. A indefatigable, chocolatey monster who has transcended humanity, because I do want to believe that he probably was immortal at some point.
I think he's even more immortal now than he ever was. I mean, dude, I can't shake this guy. I cannot get him out of my computer. I know that he has remote control, and I know that he's the one sending the letters. So the fact that we could have cut him off about 2,000 years ago really pisses me off.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been our problem, but you know what? That we, just like how we blame Eve for everything, we can blame King Solomon too. It's just, repercussions, they reverberate. It's just, it's just a drop in a pond,
Yeah, so we'll have to live with it for now. We'll live with it. I'm trying my best to keep him out of my hard drive. We're still compiling a lot of information about him. Expect an episode soon. I mean, we're a year deep right now, so expect an episode soon. All right, it's going to be dropping. Yeah. Please look out for us after the episode drops. If we fall off the face of the earth, you know what happens.
Yeah, and it's like and that's what's so tough about it, is because this is becoming so much of an issue. We're almost like thinking, should we just wait until we've exhausted our topics and we're ready to bring the podcast to a close and give it just with this big Count Chocula finale, because we know our days are numbered afterwards. So that's something we don't want to have to do that, but that is something that has been on the table.
Yeah, so when we get to it, we'll get to it, and you'll know what happens. So you'll know what comes next, okay?
Yep, we will get it out before it is too late. That is the ultimate goal. But as we said before, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, whatever you celebrate. It's been a shit year. We're all fucking miserable. So maybe let's see if we can all take a day to be less miserable. And you know what might help? Give you that shot of serotonin is maybe go on iTunes and give us a 5-star rate and review. Woo! That would really help us out, and that would be super cool. Get ourselves on that front page someday. You can follow us on Spotify so you can be updated when new episodes come out every single Wednesday. Instagram is at CEOTPK. YouTube is Close Encounters of the Podcast Kind. To be determined, but someday we will be doing more like live stream events and stuff like that. We just got to think of them. Twitter is at CEOTPK1. Our Facebook, Close Encounters of the Podcast Kind. You can email us at CEOTPK1@gmail.com, or you can join our Discord, discord.gg/lowercase b, number 6, capital C, capital T, number 5, capital M, capital X. All of those links of the above are going to be on our Facebook. Easy clicking, so you don't have to type everything out.
Yeah, we make it easy on you.
Will we get DMCA strike for that?
Fuck them. I don't know. Because I did it. It's my own rendition, and they can't touch me.
Yeah, it might fall under parody clause, so we might be okay.
Well, guys, again, it's almost Christmas. Enjoy the time without your family. Enjoy the alcohol. Have a good time. Remember that you're celebrating the birth of an alien, and look, whether you open up your presents on the day of Christmas or on Christmas Eve, like some heretics do, the truth is out there.
It's been a great year, and we can't wait for year number 2. It's going to be fun. Second season, we're going to bigger and better things. Jesus Christ wasn't an alien. He's not.
This is the most sacrilegious episode I've ever done. Even I'm a little uncomfortable.